Hey everyone, welcome to the Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It is Monday, April 28th. We have a smaller 6-game MLB slate to talk about here on today's podcast. I said beginning of the year I wasn't going to do a lot of these smaller slates, but I don't know why I decided I was going to do this one, but I decided I was going to do it, and then I posted it and scheduled it, and then I almost fell asleep on the couch a little while ago. It's been a long weekend. Then I started researching the slate. And I was like, man, what an ugly one this one is going to be. So this is a really interesting slate. Pitching is very interesting, just in general. We have a lot of things to talk about. I got tired of watching commercials all day. Yeah, I mean, listen, there was a lot of commercials at Talladega, that's for sure. Um, man, I still don't know what to think about the Talladega race. I haven't like fully processed it yet. It was interesting. We'll call it that. I feel like if I'm Larson and Byron, I have to be more aggressive the last 5 laps of that race. And they weren't, and it was just interesting. But I mean, to each his own. They got to win. They both got wins, so a little different. But we got baseball. We got 6 games. Derek, Carolina guy, DJ, what's up, chat? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Sunday night over there on YouTube. My Magic lost to the Celtics. That's not looking great. Dave, what's happening? All right, let's do the best we can with this one. Like I said, pitching is ugly. You're not going to feel comfortable about your pitchers on this slate. So we'll talk about it and see if we like something as we deep dive through this slate a little bit. We get started with New York at Baltimore, 9.5 total pick'em game here. Sagano and Warren facing off against each other. We'll start here with Warren on the road going up against Baltimore. Tough matchup for a pitcher that last season, very small sample size, looked like he was going to be an average strikeout pitcher. This season, kind of the same. He's been really good against right-handed hitters, and he's really struggled with left-handed hitters. So it's kind of a lineup-based play. You know, if you get a lineup that's very right-handed heavy, this is a guy that you really want to take some shots on. Problem with him here is I think he's gonna have enough lefties in this lineup that it's gonna give him fits. I mean, Gunnar Henderson, Rutschman, O'Hearn, Mullins, just a lot of right-handed hitters or left-handed hitters in this lineup. So overall, for me, it depends. Like I did see a thing that came out, like Tyler O'Neill just got put on the IL. Rutschman was dealing with like hand being sore. Mullins was sick. So watch this lineup if we don't have all these lefties in there. I know Westberg was hurt or something as well. Hamstring soreness. So their lineup Sunday was really weak. I don't know how Scoble pitched in that game. I didn't check anything baseball wise on the slate. So, but how did Scoble pitch here? Let's look. Yeah, he pitched really well. Shocking. Faced a really weak Baltimore lineup and pitched really well in that one. So, I mean, I think it's going to really come down to who Baltimore has in the lineup today. For Warren, my initial lean is I don't love him. But again, looking even back to last year, he was really good against righties and really struggled with lefties. So he gets a lot of righties here. Could be a lot more playable. Does still give up a lot of hard contact to righties. So wait and see the lineup. But with as weird and as tough a slate it is for pitching, at 6,800, maybe. So check the lineup on him. Other side of this game, we got Sagano pitching for Baltimore going up against the Yankees. Like this lineup, the Yankees lineup, we know they're really good. Sagano, I mean, from what we've seen so far from him, is he's just going to pitch to contact. He's not a strikeout pitcher by any means. he's going to try to limit damage, and he's just really struggled. He's really struggled with home runs. So nothing too impressive. Hasn't really gotten blown up, but you got to miss some bats against this lineup. And they just have so much upside if you're not missing bats. So I don't think Sagano is the guy for me today, even on a day where we don't have a lot of pitching options. It's just he doesn't strike anybody out. It's the Yankees. If you're not striking out the Yankees, they can put up a bunch of runs and really fast against you. So I'm going to pass on him. I like the Yankees bats here on the road. Obviously, I'd like them if they were at home a little bit more, but they are guaranteed the ninth inning when they're on the road here. So like this spot a lot. Ben Rice has been really good this year. Aaron Judge has been incredible. Jazz has been really good this season. Guys like Volpe, Austin Wells, Dominguez, they get a bump here because you get a lower strikeout pitcher. So really just, I mean, the Yankees are one of the top stacks on the slate today for sure. On the Baltimore side of things, I mean, you got to see what the lineup looks like. I like the lefties. I like the Baltimore lefties. Like I said, when looking at Warren's stats and doing a little bit of a dive on him, we like the lefties here. I mean, obviously a lot of interest in Henderson. I want to see Mullins and Rutschman back in the lineup. That makes the stack more playable for me. So I like the Baltimore lefties. Let's see who's in there on whether or not we want to play Warren, if we want to play the Baltimore bats. St. Louis at Cincinnati. Palante against Martinez, 9 total. Cincinnati a slight favorite here, 122. Yeah, 122. This game's interesting from the prospect of like Palante is a guy that he's not going to go out and strike out a lot of people, but he'll do a good job of, limiting damage and, trying to generate ground balls, trying not to get blown up. He continues to give up home runs, even though he's a ground ball pitcher. Just so interesting sometimes when you have that situation. But yeah, I mean, for me, on Palante, like, I don't think I want to play him in this spot. 14% Ks this year. He was around 18% last year. Just a massive ground ball guy. Gives up a lot of hard contact. I will say, like, the Reds are coming back from Coors. Sometimes we see, like, teams take a day to adjust back to altitude, but there's not a ton of strikeouts in this lineup. I think for Palante to get there, he would have to have a really good BABIP game, and I hate, like, playing pitchers banking on really good BABIP games, but I don't think he's the craziest play. He's just not my favorite play. I probably won't get to him today. Other side of this game, Nick Martinez. Again, another below average strikeout pitcher. I want to like something on the slate pitching wise, because it's such a bad slate for pitchers. But I don't think Nick Martinez, with his below average strikeout rate, really struggles with left-handed power in this ballpark against a team that, I mean, they can throw some lefties at him for sure. Newbar, Donovan, Gorman, Burleson. I feel like I'm missing people. Scott. I think they can get 4 to 6 lefties in this lineup. And that's really where Nick Martinez has struggled this year. I'm going to pass on Martinez. I like the Cardinals. I think it's a good spot for them. Big ballpark upgrade going into Cincinnati here. So Newbar, I think at 4,600 is a great play. I always like playing Donovan and Gorman. Burleson's the guy that I typically don't get a lot of. He's yet to hit a home run this season, but he's been hitting really well. He's really cheap. And I mean, 10 points or 3K is not bad. A lot of the times I feel like we're chasing home runs at first base. So I like the Cardinals here. I think it's a good spot for them. Other side, I know, like, the last couple times out, Palante has given up runs and he's gotten hit a little bit here recently, but I don't love stacking against him because of the ground balls. Hate ground ball pitchers. I like some bats. Like, don't get me wrong, I want to play some of these bats here. would probably be Friddle. He's more of a fly ball hitter. Candelario is more of a fly ball hitter. So like those two guys make a lot of sense for me today. And like Friedel should continue to hit leadoff, low strikeout hitter. Always like De La Cruz. Gavin Lux is having a quietly good season. Marte's been good. So I don't think I'd stack Cincinnati fully, but I think like mini stacks here are fine or one offs. Like I said, Friedel would probably be my favorite one off here outside of like De La Cruz, because De La Cruz is just, he's going to run every time he gets on base. He's so fast. Athletics, voice crack. Athletics had Texas taking on the Rangers. I only love when that happens. It doesn't happen very often to me, but it happens every once in a while. Anyway, we got Sears and Corbin facing off against each other. 9 total pick'em game here. Let's go JP Sears first. He's on the road. JP Sears. I mean, I know it's like a broken record at this point, but another start here for Sears. He is a softball game's getting to you. I don't play softball. These games, maybe? Is that what you mean? I don't know what you mean. All right, I'm clueless on what you mean. The spicy chicken I had for dinner is getting to me, and the lack of sleep for the last 3 days is getting to me. Anyway, JP Sears coming off of a good start here against Texas, put up 17. He's done that now in 3 of his last 5 starts. Hate pitchers that face teams back-to-back starts. I mean, I talk about this all the time. I will say this lineup has struggled a little bit more with left-handed pitching than they have with right-handed pitching. Corey Seager being out of this lineup right now definitely hurts this lineup. Josh Jung, he, he left the game on Sunday. I think I read it was a cut finger or something. So for me, I don't think Sears is the craziest option. I just hate pitchers on back-to-back starts against the same team. If you're playing like MME type contests, I think you could definitely take some shots on Sears today. Single entry, I probably don't get him in my single entry team. 3 entry max is kind of interesting, but I don't know if I get him there either. Patrick Corbin on the other side here. Good old Patrick Corbin. I mean, he didn't pitch too bad against his team last time out. Continues to throw strikes. He continues not to miss bats. He continues to struggle with power. Allowed 2 home runs in that start against the Athletics. I mean, it's the same thing that I was just saying. I hate pitchers in back-to-back starts. And, I mean, the Athletics, they're going to have enough right-handed power in this lineup to give this guy a fit. And, like, the lefties in this lineup can hit left-handed pitching as well. Like, Butler is not bad against lefties. Bladay's been really solid against lefties. Soderstrom. So, for me, I feel like both of these pitchers are fringe plays for me in large field tournaments. I wouldn't play either one of these guys in single entry type contests, but I think they're both fringy for large field tournaments just because, I mean, I'm basically trying to get 15 from my pitchers today. I'd be super happy with 15 from my pitchers today. I have a couple options that I like that we'll talk about, but let's talk about the bats. They're a little bit more fun here. Rooker, Langoliers, Wilson. Like I said, Bladay, lefty is interesting. Patrick Corbin, not a very large sample size, but he struggled with lefty power this season. So I think that, you know, if you want to take some shots on Butler or Bladay, that's fine. I mean, anytime that Corbin takes the hill, I'm going to have some stacks against him because he can get blown up. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of where I'm at. And then on the Texas side, Wyatt Langford is one of my favorite hitters on the entire slate. I love this spot for him. He just continues to crush left-handed pitching. Jonah Heim, if he catches, Jake Berger, like these guys are good against left-handed pitching. But yeah, Wyatt Langford has a 430 ISO, 530 plus WOBA against left-handed pitching this season. So I like him a lot. Texas, I mean, yeah, I don't mind them against Sears. Detroit at Houston. 8 total in this game. Pick'em game. It's Flaherty against Blanco. In the Morning Grind Discord, they've reminded me that this weekend they reminded me a couple times about right-handed pitchers against Detroit, and it didn't work out a lot last week with Kansas City. But it sounds like, was it Kansas City? Who was it? It was Toronto. It was Toronto, right? It was Gaussman, Bassett, and Francis, and I played all 3 of them, and all 3 of them struggled. And it sounded like Lugo and somebody else in the chat was telling me about it in Discord. But right-handed pitchers against Houston, interesting for sure. You know, obviously we got Flaherty, who is above average pitcher. Waka, there you go. Waka was the other one. Flaherty was really solid against righties last year. He struggled with power, but his strikeout rate was much higher against righties. So I think this is like a boom bust strikeout spot for him. I like right-handed pitchers against this offense. Talk about it all the time. They're very right-handed heavy. There's a lot of strikeouts at the bottom half of this lineup. It's just not the same like Houston team that we're so used to. So I think Flaherty is one of the better options on this slate. You got to pay up for him, but that's fine. There's plenty of value. I mean, so many stacks in play on a smaller slate. So like the spot for Flaherty. And even if we look at like this season, his strikeouts 26% against righties, but his swinging strike rate 12.7, whiff rate 27.2, definitely suggests that like he can get right-handed hitters out still. So you worry a little bit about the fly balls, especially for the right-handed power bats in this lineup, but I like the spot for Flaherty. I think he's fine. Talent-wise, I mean, he's just one of the better talented pitchers on the slate. So Blanco, other side, coming off of a good start against Toronto. He's another one that like he kind of fits in. He'd be really good against his own team. He's been really solid against right-handed hitters this season. He's really struggled with left-handed power. Detroit can throw a lot of lefties in the lineup. They might not be the best lefties in the world, but Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, they're good. They're going to have like Sweeney in there, Jace Jung. I don't hate this spot for Blanco. I don't love this spot for him, but I don't hate it, especially on this slate. If this was like a 13-game slate and we had a lot of pitching options, I wouldn't even like think twice about like keeping him out of my player pool. But the lack of pitching options and the fact that like Dustin May is probably going to be pretty chalky, I don't mind Blanco in this spot. Again, I'm ecstatic if these guys, not Flaherty, but these guys can score like 15. I feel like we need like 20 to 25 from Flaherty. 25 at 10K makes sense. I was kind of searching for him for today. As far as the Detroit bats go, again, Blanco's really struggled with left-handed power. So Carpenter and Green, I don't hate those guys. I wouldn't stack this spot. Overall, I think there's still too many righties and some of the lefties are bad. Maybe McKinstry to make a little 3-man, but it'd be Carpenter and Green for me. I will say, like, I don't know why, but I've watched enough Torkelson that like teams are starting to pitch him a little bit differently. But he's off to a really strong start this year. But we've seen the home runs slow down with teams pitching him a little bit tighter recently. Not letting him get extended and hit those bombs. As far as the Houston bats go, I feel like Flaherty, because of the name, is going to get a lot of ownership today. So I think this is a spot you could be different and stack Houston and hope Flaherty is giving up home runs to righties. That happens from time to time with him. Fly balls to righties is a thing for him. He's going to get strikeouts. So, I mean, DFS-wise, I still prefer Flaherty in this spot over the Houston stack. But if everybody's playing Flaherty today, which I am, I mean, you should. But if he's struggling with a couple home runs, maybe I don't know if I'd stack them fully, but I mean, I could see them being a low-owned difference maker today. problem, like Houston, is like outside of Alvarez and Altuve, the lineup just gets so weak so fast. It's just not the same Houston lineup that we've been used to for the last few years. All right, we got Atlanta at Colorado. My voice is not agreeing with me today. I'm sorry. I did coach a volleyball tournament this weekend, and I'm yelling and screaming. But 10.5 total in this game. Braves 176 favor. We got Elder and Feltner facing off against each other here. So I'm seeing multiple reports saying that like it might not be Elder. Okay, okay. So Smith Schroyer will pitch Tuesday. Elder will pitch Monday. All right. So it's going to be Elder. Elder and Feltner. Let's start here with Elder. He's 7,800. He has had a rough start to the season. He gets a minor league baseball team today in Colorado. In Coors, I don't think I want to play him. 13% Ks on the season. It was around 20% last season. His whiff rate's just way down. His swinging strike rate is way down. His command has been awful. His best start was last time out against St. Louis. He had 6 innings, and he only scored 10 fantasy points. Just doesn't have that strikeout upside, even against this offense in this ballpark. I don't think I want to do it. If I open up and I see that like he's really low owned, maybe I take some shots in like a 20 entry max build. But overall, I prefer the Colorado bats and not Elder here. And I have no interest in Feltner. I know that he's had some decent games this year, but pitching in Coors is just so much different than pitching on the road. So yeah, just no interest in Feltner. Another below average strikeout pitcher. Got to be able to attack this Braves lineup, and I don't think he can. Atlanta, I think they're the top stack on the slate today. I think that the Yankees are in a really good spot as well, but I think this ballpark against Feltner, against this bullpen, stack them up. Love the Atlanta Braves here. Said, I know it's chalky in Coors, but I just don't see the reason not to play them in this spot. So I like them a lot here. Verdugo, only 4K. He should be in there. Hopefully, like maybe Baldwin catches over Murphy. I guess Murphy sat on Sunday, so Murphy's probably in there. The stack's going to be hard to make a full stack work, and that goes back to some of those cheaper pitchers that we were like, hey, maybe we take a shot on these guys to make it work. But I'm going to be trying to fit in this Atlanta stack for sure. And even the Colorado stack on the other side. I like the Rockies a lot today. They're cheap for being in Coors, and they get a good matchup against Elder. So, I mean, price-wise, they're probably going to be one of my higher owned stacks today, just looking at like how cheap they are in general here. So they are not priced like they're in Coors. I mean, I guess they are. They've just been really bad this year. But I like this spot for them. Overall, I think both the offenses are in play. I like the Rockies. I hope the Rockies don't get a lot of love today because of how bad they've been this year, but I like the spot against Elder. We finish it out with Miami Adelaide taking on the Dodgers in this one. Cabrera and May facing off against each other. We'll start here with Cabrera. Oh, this game has an 8.5 total, and the Dodgers are a minus 300 favorite. We'll start with Cabrera first. I mean, dare we take some tournament strikeout upside with Cabrera and hope that like all the home runs he gives up are singles, solo home runs? Like, I'm very tempted. I will say that I'm very tempted, but again, I mean, I hate playing pitchers against the Dodgers. This lineup is just so incredibly good. His command issues might be a huge problem for him in a matchup like this against the Dodgers. So I probably don't do it, but oh man, I don't play 150 lineups either. Cabrera has some strikeout upside. So if you are like a 150 MME type player, maybe you throw Cabrera in there, just a few lineups, and try to chase that like 7 strikeout, 1 or 2 earn run type of games. All right, let's talk Dustin May. If you listen to the show before, you know that I'm not a huge Dustin May fan. I stacked a bunch against him last time out with the Cubs, and they just absolutely hammered him. Loved every second of it. His advanced stats definitely suggest that there's a lot of regression still coming. He's facing the Marlins. He has upside. He's one of the better pitchers on the slate. They let him throw 95 pitches last time out, even in a game that he was getting hit hard in Wrigley. That's a bump. He's still done a really good job of generating ground balls. I know that we saw a little bit of difference last time out against the Cubs, but any other slate, I think you could definitely be underweight on him. But on this slate, it's hard. I mean, Ramirez has been hitting. Wagman has been hitting. Jesus Sanchez, Mervis, like these guys have been hitting. So on lineups that I'm not playing May, I will say I'm gonna have some exposure to Dustin May. I don't love it, but I'm gonna have some exposure to him. On lineups that I don't have Dustin May, I don't mind playing a couple of these Miami bats. Mervis is still 3,700. Sanchez is 3,400. Wagman is 3,300. Ramirez, the catcher, is 3,200, and he has multiple hits in 4 of the 5 games since he got called up. So that's good, right? So I think a low-owned Miami secondary, if May's going to have a lot of ownership, they're scoring some runs here recently, so it's good. Dodgers stack, I mean, they're definitely in play. You know, Cabrera has some strikeout upside, but he also struggles with power. He struggles with walks and command. When you struggle with command and hard hits against an offense like this, they can put up runs in bunches. So I like the Dodgers for sure. Atlanta, New York, Colorado, Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are a top 5 stack for me today. Flaherty or May on FanDuel. I think I personally prefer Flaherty over May on a one pitcher site. But again, like I'm the wrong person to ask because I just don't. I mean, I look at the advanced numbers for Dustin May and I just don't see. So I'm not the right person to ask that question. But I mean, I think Flaherty has more upside and has a higher floor. But I mean, the chase rate for Dustin May continues to be really low. His off-speed stuff hasn't been awesome. His X stats not great. Slugging is really high. He pitches for a team that's just really good, and he pitches with the lead a lot, which is always really good. Throws a lot of sweeper sinker combos to generate ground balls. So and like Dustin May 2 years ago was averaging like 96, 97. This year he's averaging like 94, 95. So his velocity's down a little bit as well. So I prefer Flaherty over May to answer that question. All right. Morning grind game. Not too bad. 30 minutes. Good thing I didn't fall asleep on the couch, right? If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button over there on YouTube. We're on the road to 10,000, but let's get to 2,000 first. We continue to grow the channel, and I appreciate that for everybody. No sponsor on the podcast, so anytime that we can get those numbers up, that helps the channel. Even if you're just a podcast listener and you don't hang out on the YouTube, go over there and hit that subscribe button over there. Help us out or help me out. I keep saying us. It's me. It's me. Nobody else behind this podcast is me. All right. Morning grind game. Let's do this. Under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. Ooh. I don't think any of these guys get 6 or more strikeouts. If I had to pick somebody, I think I'd pick Patrick Corbin. This question's tough today. I think it's Patrick Corbin. Warren, depending on the Baltimore lineup, might be able to like Will. We're really interested in the Baltimore lineup with Will Warren's price tag, because if he gets a weaker, if these guys that have been out for Baltimore on that were out on Sunday are out with Tyler O'Neill on the IL too, like Will Warren becomes so much more interesting at 6,800. Over 8K to score under 15. My bust today. I'd probably say Cabrera. Over 4K to hit a home run, not in course. Wyatt Langford. I don't even know if he's over 4K. He should be, right? I don't have pricing up right there. 5K. There you go. Wyatt Langford. Over 4K to hit a home run. Under 4K to score 10 plus points. I'm going to go with Nolan Gorman from St. Louis going into Cincinnati against Nick Martinez. Stack to score 6 or more runs. I'm going to stay on that same team. I'm going to say the St. Louis Cardinals have a big game today. They're one of my favorite lower owned. I'm guessing they'll be lower owned stacks on the slate. No 3-pick parlay today. Let me see if Prize Picks has anything up and see if we can make a little card. It's locating my services. DK changed their 3-entry max to 5. I did that for NASCAR this weekend. The 88 was 5 instead of 3. All right, baseball. They have some stuff up for the Mets game, but I haven't researched that one. So, they have some Red stuff up. Do they have fantasy score for the Reds game? Oh, all right. We got a little bit of fantasy score action going on over here on Prize Picks. Let's see here. Where's my guy? Right there. Newt Bar, more than 6.5. Austin Riley, more than 8.5. And do we have pitcher? No, we don't have any pitching outs or anything like that. I guess we do. Nothing that I love. I'm trying to find one more. I like the 3. Let's roll with the 2. Let's go Newt Bar, more than 6.5. Austin Riley, more than 8.5. All right, I'm gonna add one more. Let's go Gunnar Henderson, more than 6.5 as well. I'm gonna do a power play on this one. So if you want to follow along and have some fun here, obviously this is not something that you have to do by any means. So I got Newt Bar, more than 6.5. More than 8.5, and Henderson more than 6.5. And over there on Prize Picks, that is the morning grind Prize Picks play for today. Hope everyone has a fantastic Monday. I am back. I am back on Tuesday. Again, if you haven't already, go over there, hit that subscribe button. Have a great day. See you all on Monday night.